In this video, I will teach you how to log back into TheraP to assure that you are in test mode anytime that you are practicing writing data, where acknowledgements are, what they are, and how you can acknowledge ISP information. Let's go ahead and talk about acknowledgements right now. Acknowledgements are referring to portions of the individual support plan that you as a direct support professional need to read and understand before you begin to work with the individual you're supporting. You will receive acknowledgements the very first time that you're working with an individual and they've been added to a person on your caseload. You cannot write any daily documentation for an individual until you acknowledge that you've read each portion of their individual support plan. Another time that you might receive acknowledgements is if there have been changes made by the support coordinator to the individual support plan or to a portion of it. Again, you have to acknowledge that you have read any changes or updates that have been made before you can proceed to write your daily documentation. In a few moments, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the window that you've left open that says TheraP Services. If you've left the window open, then you should be on a page that looks like this that says Dashboard. One of the problems with this training class is that sometimes TheraP will time you out, meaning if it took you too long to come back to TheraP Services, it'll log you out of the system. It's really not a problem other than just a bit of a hassle. If TheraP logs you out, then you're not going to see a page that looks like this when you come back to your TheraP window. Instead, you're going to see a page that looks like this. And it's going to give you a message and just simply say you've been logged out of TheraP. That just means the system's kicked you out because it took you too long to get back. Don't worry about that. All you have to do is simply log back in again. So you're going to hit login again. You're going to put in your login name and your password. And just click login. Your splash messages will come up. You need to go to your dashboard. And voila, we're back on the page that we just left. Now the other problem with this is if TheraP kicks you out, they log you out of the program, you're also going to have to switch back into test mode. I can tell right now that I'm not in test mode because I don't have the exclamation point at the top that's saying test mode. So I don't want to record real life data. I want to practice. And what I'm going to need to do each time if TheraP kicks me out, I'm going to have to again go back to settings on my dashboard. I'm going to have to come down to test mode and I'm going to have to turn it on. Please, please, please make sure anytime you have to relog into TheraP that you switch back into test mode. Otherwise, you're going to create real data and I'm going to hear about it. So please, please, please don't do that. All right. Once you're on your to-do list, you will see where it says ISP data acknowledgements. Mine only has one listed here, but yours will have probably anywhere from 15 to 20 of them because you've just had skip dodge added to your caseload. What you're going to need to do is you're going to need to click on acknowledge. You're then going to have several of these listed. I only have the one here, but you're going to have several of them. Just click on the very first one. Be sure to read through the information so that you get to know who skip dodge is. If you are working with a new individual, it's going to be critical that you read through these at least a few times until you begin to really understand who the person is that you're working with and what their objectives are. But for training purposes, just read a couple of them, and what you're going to do is come down here to a button that says acknowledge. Now your screen is going to have send via SCOM, acknowledge and go to next, or acknowledge. The send via SCOM is a way for you to send a secure message to the program writer or the support coordinator who's in charge of the ISP. If you have questions about the individual support plan or the portion that you're reading and you need clarification before you're able to write daily documentation. So if I write send via SCOM, I can then click this button, send a message to that program writer, and then they'll give me the information I need before I acknowledge. What I'm going to have you do for training purposes is I'm going to have you click on the acknowledge and go to next. If you click on just the acknowledge button, it's going to bring you back to your to-do list and it's going to take more time. But if you click on acknowledge and go to next, it's simply going to verify that you've read the information and it's going to take you to the next one. You're going to continue to scroll down through each acknowledgement. Click acknowledge and go to next. It'll take you to the next one. Scroll down, click acknowledge and go to next. When you get to the very last one, you're not going to have an option like I don't have one here to acknowledge and go to next, and you're just simply going to click acknowledge. You're going to get your message each time that comes up that says, yes, you acknowledge that you've read and understand, and you're going to click OK. All right. If you accidentally click on just the acknowledge button and you don't click on acknowledge and go to next, you'll notice that it brought me to data collection for this portion of the individual support plan. If that happens to you, it's okay. Just go back to your dashboard, click on your to-do list, and come back to your acknowledgements so that you can acknowledge the next one on your list. Okay, I wish you luck with acknowledging all of the things that you need to in TheraP. Again, if you have any problems with this, you can call the Human Resources Department in your region, and they can help you work out any of the problems you're experiencing during this training class.